What's the newest with Headroom Sessions right now? Tell everybody what's going on.
Yeah, so we did a big shift actually. We were scheduled out for the rest of the year. And in addition to that, doing a monthly series at the Broadway Roxy that we had just started. So we had to adjust pretty quickly to keep people involved and still support the artists. So what we've been doing was first we partnered with an organization called We Are Denver and an organization called the Black Actors Guild, and we kind of pooled our content to create an all local MTV network. It was started by Ryan Fu and We Are Denver, and I saw it and I hit him up and I was like, we have content for days. We are very content rich. So, and then from there, we started our own personal event. We switched it from Headroom Sessions to Bedroom Sessions. And those have a couple different formats. One is where we have the bands record at home, and then we do a game show questionnaire situation after their set. And the other way is that we do session throwbacks and then interview those artists about their progress since their session.
That's amazing. That sounds really cool.
Thank you.
Where did that? I mean, I'm assuming it just kind of came out of uh, I wouldn't say desperation, but you just kind of adapted based on the need because your live space is just gone now, right?
Yeah, I mean, desperation's pretty accurate.
Yeah,
That was
yeah, yeah.
that was
It's tough.
definitely an aspect of it, and I can be pretty reactive in ways that are good and sometimes not, also known as ADHD. But just seeing people pop on these live events, I was just pumped and excited to try something new. So we just dove right in.
What's the? I mean, how's the turnout been? Do you know what I mean? Like compared
Yeah.
to like in-person events, so to speak.
The live stream is streamed 24/7. So we've had incredible numbers in comparison to sessions. Our live sessions are capped at about 20 people
Mm-hmm.
as it is because it's a small space and because of the production process. It's hard to keep more than 20 people quiet for a video. So, especially when wine is involved. So
Yeah.
we have to limit that a little bit.
Oh, so you do? Yeah. Well, yeah. That is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine you would kind of have to be careful with that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Mostly now people are just drinking from home, so
Yes,
they
exactly.
can be whatever they want to be. So I guess the other there's an interesting thing with sort of giving up the space, right?
Mhm.
One of the things that has been happening, at least in the Denver scene, quite a lot, even just this past week, is we've been seeing venues kind of start to close down and everything. And I figured I would ask you of what you make of that and what we, could be doing as sort of organizations that are around.
Absolutely. It's pretty devastating, as people know. You know, the Three Kings thing hit me especially hard. Three Kings has been a big part of me even getting into the music industry. We had a monthly series there, and I just really enjoyed the staff. And the timing, it's never good timing for this kind of stuff, but now that a lot of the venues have been bought out by larger promoters already, um, and the issues after the ghost ship fire with licensing and stuff, it's just like it feels like the third time in a short time span that the DIY scene has been hit really hard. And that's actually kind of what Headroom Sessions was born from. We just wanted to make sure we had a place set aside where DIY musicians could still have a shot.
Hmm.
Um, so this sucks. This really sucks.
Yeah, do you think I mean, how do you think the power dynamic after this is sort of going to reset? I mean, is it just going to be large, big, you know, uh, entities, let's put it that way, that are going to
Yeah,
be doing shows and owning venues and whatnot? Or do you think that there, at least for the short term, is a chance for anybody that's coming up right now?
I think that the perk of this is that, like with the We Are Denver stream, there's a lot of opportunity for teaming up. And I think Denver, we have so many creatives and so many ideas that people tend to be put themselves in a silo of sorts.
Hmm.
And I don't think we have that option right now. So that's, I'd say, the more exciting part of this is I think that you're going to see a lot of powerful partnerships. I
Right.
don't know what the big promoters' plans are. I used to work for Live Nation, and I never thought of them as like someone who would need, or a company that would need help financially at all.
Right.
And the fact that they're kind of in the boat too. Denver Arts and Venues is having a hard time. They don't know what to do without Red Rocks.
Yeah, it's
Um,
concerning for sure.
yeah, and it might be evening the playing field a little bit, to be honest.
Hmm. Yeah, and I mean, this might be a little bit redundant just because we're seeing things like We Are Denver pop up.
Mm-hmm.
But there are musicians in a sort of front range culture to this whole element tier two. You know what I mean? Like there's, stuff in Boulder, there's stuff in Fort Collins. I'm curious, is there anybody that you know of that's trying to sort of bring together the region, so to speak, versus just like individual scenes? Because I feel like
Mm-hmm.
there's just more power in numbers at this point.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, from personal experience with our partnership with We Are Denver, we also brought in Arise Music Festival.
Hmm.
So that has helped bridge that gap. I'm always becoming more and more aware of the vast music scene that each city has that we haven't really connected yet. Um, so yeah, I've seen a little bit of it. And I do think the digital realm obviously makes that very easy. That's, I mean, distance has kind of been the only thing that keeps me from exploring those scenes.
Hmm.
I've been an Uberer and a busser for 6 years in the city. So that's a downside to it. And now I get to experience that.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing too is, so you guys have kind of, collectively as Headroom Sessions,
Mm-hmm.
have gone now down this, like, I mean, this digital sort of pathway ish. And I'm assuming, I'm wondering more. There's been a lot of criticism levied against it in my mind of like it becoming too overwhelming. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know if there's, I don't know how to phrase this exactly, but I'm going to try. Um,
Yeah.
there's potential problems with curation then, wouldn't you think? Or, I think when it comes to just giving, there's just so much content now.
Yeah.
It's a question of how do you still really curate stuff if there's just constant output?
Yeah. Are you saying as like as far as competition and people are just kind of burnt out or?
I mean, I think it's more just about maybe burnout. Do you know what I mean? Because I
Mhm.
know there are now, I think when this first started, it was a lot more, just people were constantly going live. But I think now there's more defined groups for this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, is there any groups that you might recommend or places or things like that? I mean, like what platforms are you guys finding to be you know, better options for this sort of thing? And I know you're doing stuff with We Are Denver, which is
Mhm.
great, but I don't know if there's any sort of tips or recommendations for musicians you might be able to provide. It's just a thought.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So I have learned that if you are pre-recording a stream or using any third-party things, do not include Instagram in the strategy for your live streaming.
Yeah.
Those algorithms are more strict than Facebook in a lot of ways. Facebook has been the go-to for us, and like I said, during my day job, I do a lot of digital marketing, and something I've discovered with that is, when you develop a social media strategy, Facebook is where people go for the personal things. And right now, people are craving personal things. They want to feel connected. So I'd say Facebook is a great go to. And just in order to stand out, make it personal. Use it as an opportunity to share your story, to create authentic connections with people that you don't see every day. And don't worry about the competition because when people feel a personal connection with you, it's an automatic shift.
Yeah, no, and it's interesting. what I guess we really don't know the plans of what is going to happen in the near term future, you know.
Yeah.
But what kind of discussions, I suppose, have you been a part of as far as what to do about this sort of thing? Because there's a lot of, you know, people saying live music's not going to come back until 2021. This might be the sort of way things are going to be for a while. So I don't know, you know, if there's something there that you also might be able to add in that regard.
Yeah, I think, like I said, just remembering that community is still strong right now, and reaching out for partnerships, I'd say, is number one, um, for personal and business reasons. You know, connecting to new teams has been something that's really got me through this emotionally and career wise. So, partnerships all the way. And we're all creatives, you know. So I think there will be some new ways to do some intimate shows. I know there are some plans with a couple organizations I work with in doing distanced outdoor shows. Um, yeah, I'd say we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen some interesting plans about, you know, closing streets. I don't know if you've seen any of those, like closing streets down and doing like, you know, restaurant seating, that kind of thing, and potentially even shows and whatnot. But that's actually really exciting. I'm stoked for you guys. That's fucking cool. That you know, partnering up with We Are Denver and everything that's been happening. It was right before this happened. I really wanted to make it to one of the sessions, and I'm kicking myself because it was one of those things just like, I'll make it to the next one, and then this happened. So
Yeah, I had a few of those too.
yeah. So that's really exciting. Thanks for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Of
Thanks
course.
for having me and sharing your thoughts.
Go to bed.